And once I quit my job, it took me approximately 28 days from the day that I quit my job to reach $1,000 in profit. Then it took me around 115 days from quitting my job to reach $10,000 in profit. Welcome back to my channel, everyone. My name is Fama Hernandez. I'm the founder and CEO of a company called Prepare, and we are on a mission of helping the undocumented community get more jobs to entrepreneurship. In this video, I will be talking about the 5 key lessons I've learned from making my first $10,000 in profit, not just sales. Now, before we get into the video, I want to let you know that I'll be releasing a new update on my platform on January 10, 2024. And to celebrate, I'll be hosting a free webinar where I'll be talking about business names. Now, I would love to see you there. So if you're interested in attending this free webinar and learning about my new platform, click the first link on my bio or visit this link. I've been working on this company for actually 2.5 years, but the reason why I started it was not to make money. The reason why I started it was because I did not have DACA for 4 years at UCLA, and I remember going to a career fair. I tried getting hired without DACA. I landed this opportunity. The company wanted to hire me because I had the skills to pay the bills, but the only issue was that they didn't know how to hire me because of my DACA status. Then I remember going to the resources on campus, trying to get hired. Nobody was able to help me. So that's when I had this idea. So over the past 2 years, I've launched several products, several services. So the first solution that I had was a recruitment agency, help them get jobs, review the resume, and then connect them to employers, right? I made $0, but I was able to help 2 of my friends with DACA get jobs. Then from there, I launched a freelance platform for undocumented students where I made $200 in revenue. I had 60 total freelancers, and in total, all of the students that I helped get projects made around $2,000 in revenue. I then launched a questions and answers platform for immigrant experiences. I had $0 in revenue, but I had the most users. I had 800 users, and then I had around 4.2 million monthly visitors on social media. From there, I decided to do something more on the service side. So I launched a marketing agency. I made around $3,440 in revenue with just one client. From there, I got a referral. I did a website design service. I had $999 in revenue with one client. Then I received another referral where I had to actually help somebody get a DBA, somebody get their EIN, and that's when I made $1,500 in revenue. But it wasn't until the Entrepreneurship 101 course where I actually went from making low $1,000 to $10,000 in profit, right? But my biggest mistake overall was just not focusing on one product, one solution. And by focusing, I mean at least do it for a year, right? And now going into 2024, I do have something more viable that I'm confident that this is the solution that is gonna help me get to that mission. Lesson number 2 is to solve for more than one person, right? The first $1,000 came from one-on-one reach outs, right? I would reach out to people via social media, email, etc. And that's how I could potentially sell 1 course, 2 courses, etc. But when I started shifting my focus to focusing on impacting a total of 20 people per package, that's when I started doing bigger contracts, right? Now we weren't talking about $150 contracts. We were talking about multiple thousands of dollars in contracts. And one of the things that I actually had to think about were the key 6 decision makers when creating my offers, right? And what do I mean by this? Always 6 people that influence buying decisions when you're working with a larger organizations. And let me just read them to you, okay? So the first person that you have to think about is the initiator. This is the person to suggest the idea of purchasing a product. This is the person that you probably pitch to. Then from there, there's the influencer. This is the person who influences other buyers to make a decision. So for example, this is like a consulting and advisor. Then from there, there's the decider. There's the person that makes the final selection of what to buy, where to buy it, and when to buy it. Then there's obviously the buyer, the person that handles all the paperwork to make the purchase. Number 5, there's the user, the person who would actually use the product. And then there's the caretaker or the gatekeeper, and this is the person who controls the access to the decision makers or the influencers, right? So when I was building these packages, when I'm building this product, think about those 3 people. The person that is gonna pitch this to the decider, I have to still convince the decider that this is a solution that they might be interested in. Then I have to focus on the end user that is actually gonna use my course. You know, these are the 6 people to keep in mind when you're trying to develop a larger offering for a bigger organization, there's always key decision makers. Try to figure out who is going to be the one that is going to influence, who is the who is going to make the purchasing decision, and whatnot, right? So lesson number 3 comes from a famous boxing quote, which is to protect yourself at all times, right? I actually faced attempts from certain people trying to undermine my efforts and saying stuff that was not true about my company. So I had to make sure that I had the right connections. I had to make sure that if anything legal were to happen, I have connections to attorneys. If I needed advice from somebody that has been through something similar, I had some mentors. So the moral of the story here is to make sure you have all your paperwork, you have connections to mentors, you have connections to organizations that are able to help you whenever there's any disputes or if there's people trying to take you down. Because I kid you not that I didn't think about this before, but I think as I begin to scale and I begin to make more impact, there's going to be more and more of these. And I just want to make sure that I'm protected because this is your baby. This is your business. Make sure that you have everything in stone so nobody can take it away from you, right? All right, so lesson number 4 was to focus on quality over quantity. Interestingly enough, it didn't take me that long to land my first $10,000 in contracts. It took me 1 week to land it. And even though I could just go ahead and continue to scale on a week-by-week basis, I still had to make sure that everything that I mentioned on my contracts, I was delivering. I still had to make sure that the quality is great because at the beginning, one of the things that I'm making sure that I keep consistent is my reputation, right? If I have a bad experience with one organization, that's going to influence all these other organizations to might not want to work with me. So I want to make sure that I offer the best quality product, service to this organization. So like that, they can then help me, work with more and more organizations, throughout the nation. I want to continue working with them for years and years to come. And in order to do that, I don't want to do way too many contracts and then not be able to deliver because that would bring down my reputation, right? So lesson number 5 is all about quick feedback loops. Launch something, gather feedback, make it better, and then launch it again. But this concept of quick feedback loops is not new. When I launched my recruitment agency, I launched it for 2 months, gather feedback, and then I launched the freelance platform, got a feedback, and then I launched my questions and answers platform for 2 months, gather feedback. And one of the things that I always tell myself is that I want to be that person that while somebody is taking a whole year, a whole week, a whole day to think about doing something, I want to have already tested that one thing that they spent hours and hours thinking about. I tested it and I got feedback. And that's how you succeed in this, right? You get feedback as fast as you can, then you make it better. Now that concludes the end of this video. Now to summarize in one word, lesson 1, to focus. Lesson 2, expand. Lesson 3, protect. Lesson 4, quality over quantity. And lesson 5, learn and launch quickly. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you did, give this video a thumbs up, comment down below your thoughts, and share this with an undocumented entrepreneur that can find this helpful.